Hey, welcome to Your In Depth, where we walk through and break down our favorite fictional universes. I am Jacob. I'm here with Evan.
Howdy there.
He is massively distracted, but we are going to be covering the Clone Wars Season 2, Episodes 18 and 19. It is the Zillo Beast arc. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to
Yeah.
walk through it initially. I got a summary to read for you just to refresh what we're going to talk about. We'll take a small little air quotes ad break and then get into our kind of discussion about it. So,
Let's get it.
yeah. All right. So, we start off with episode 18. The Republic tests an electroproton bomb on Malastari. Is that how you pronounce that?
What's that?
The planet Malastar? Malastari?
Malastair.
Malastair. There we go.
Yeah.
To secure a fuel deal, wiping out the Separatist army, but unintentionally collapsing the ground and awakening a long-extinct creature, the Zillo Beast. Mace Windu and Anakin discover its armor is lightsaber-proof and struggle between protecting an innocent creature and honoring the treaty with the Dugs, who demand its death. After a failed Dug attempt to kill it with fuel and a Republic plan to stun it, the enraged Beast is finally subdued. Though the Dugs sign the treaty, Palpatine orders the, quote, dead Zillo Beast transported to Coruscant for study against Windu's warnings. Then we got episode 19. The Zillo Beast is brought to Coruscant despite Mace Windu and Obi-Wan's warnings, and Dr. Sionver Bol studies it under Palpatine's pressure. When Palpatine orders the creature secretly euthanized for its armor, the fuel meant to kill it enrages the beast, causing it to break free and rampage across Coruscant, ultimately targeting the Chancellor himself. After a chaotic battle and a rescue effort, the Jedi watch in sorrow as the Republic kills the last of its kind with the poison gas. As the beast's body is taken away, Palpatine quietly orders Dr. Bol to clone the Zillo Beast, setting his true intentions in motion. So that is our summary. Yeah, there was this weird, gas that they were using. It was like a,
I thought it was some sort of nerve agent.
yeah, it was kind of fumes from the fuel, because they kind of spray him with it, and he's kind of daisy, but then goes to it's meant to kill him,
Yeah.
But anywho, ad break. This episode is brought to you by Dr. Bol's Bedtime Blend. If you have trouble getting a good night's rest, then be sure to purchase the most effective sleep aid in Coruscant. All you need to get to sleep is just a tiny bit of this solution. And I mean really, just a drop. It is that potent and effective. So call today and... shoot.
Oh no.
Attention. An airborne toxin is present in this facility. Proceed to the nearest exit. Attention. An airborne toxin is present in this facility. Proceed to the nearest exit. Attention. An airborne toxin is present in this facility. Well, okay.
Oh boy.
I guess nobody's safe for our ads.
It seems the dangers our people were facing in Middle Earth has
I think we're the problem.
has crossed over into the galaxy far, far away. We don't have to pay out severance or something, do we?
We don't, actually. This is kind of nice because we just get the money and we don't have to pay the employees.
I was a little worried about that.
Yep. Actually, it's been this kind of fun plan that I probably shouldn't say it's intentional, but it is beneficial to not have to pay them.
Yeah, that is nice.
Anyway.
Into the episodes, though.
Yeah.
The first thing I wanted to just kind of mention because I always like seeing the different types of vehicles and weaponry and stuff that either the clones or the droids are using.
Yeah.
And the different episodes of the Clone Wars. This first episode introduces. I guess I don't know if it introduces, but this is the first time we kind of see him in action, like really see him. A fairly new type of vehicle, the RX-200 Falcon class assault tank, which is the one they use with those like energy beams to quote unquote kill the Zillo Beast. So I think is it Revenge of the Sith? I think if you like look in the background during when with Psychopath Jedi, what's his name? Oh my gosh.
Ki-Adi-Mundi?
Yes, thank you. When it's showing his scene when he's fighting, right? And
Yeah, on Maigito.
Maigito, yeah. I think you see one or two of these tanks in the backdrop. But you don't actually see him in action, but we actually get to see him in action here in the battle for Malastare. And of course the, very familiar other types of vehicles like the Y-Wing bombers. As well as the ARC 170 fighters and the AT-ATs. But yeah, it was nice to see a new type of vehicle that the clones had at their disposal in an episode. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Malastare, I did research that planet because I'm always curious. I feel like there is a million planets in Star Wars. This one is obviously homeworld to the Dug species, which are Sebulba's people.
Yeah.
And
good old Sebulba should have won the pod race.
Yep. Anyway, though, it is not the only, so it's the homeworld to them, but it was also colonized by the Gran, or Gran, whatever. It's those three-eyed goat-looking creatures.
Oh.
Those ones.
Yeah.
So that's another one that's more so associated with that planet. But I did appreciate this episode some because obviously Sebulba was put into Phantom Menace. It was kind of more of a I wouldn't say comedic. He was kind of like the antagonist kind of role in that section of the pod race and whatnot, that whole story part. But it was kind of like his only purpose. Then now we kind of learn a bit about the people, and it kind of adds a little bit to that species. And I always like seeing the ever expanding, Star Wars universe and the different storylines. And
that's just like, he's in Phantom Menace as well. He's like Anakin. He like owns Anakin and Shmi when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan first arrive on Tatooine.
Watto?
Yeah. Like Twadarian. He's a Twadarian, and then we get to see the Twadarians and more of them in the Clone Wars. It's just another expansion on presumably a species that was, just kind of introduced for a brief moment in the prequel trilogy. It's nice to see some expansion on those different species and learn more about them. Yeah.
In this too, after we start having the bomb drop and all that stuff, and we do get a few more named clones. So we're gonna start
poor
up
guys. We're
gonna start up a fan club. Evan, here's one for you. So Trapper, Pons, Hawkeye. What's the PG version of what I'm going for?
Oh gosh.
Say kiss, marry, kill.
Oh. Trapper, Pons, and who? And
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Oh man, Pons is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna have to marry Pons. He's a pretty cool clone.
Isn't he the one with Mace?
Yeah, he pops up in some future episodes.
Yeah, I would probably agree. So we can Mormon this thing.
Yeah, Hawkeye's pretty cool. I mean, because he's the pilot, right? Or am I thinking of a different one?
He got the nickname though because of those dreamy eyes, so I'm going with Kiss.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, and then we'll kill.
We'll kill Trapper. I don't know why.
Trapper. He's gonna die anyways, so we might as well just kill him.
Anyway, As they're fighting, I think that they bomb the place and it ends up collapsing, and then obviously
Yeah.
the Zillo Beast is in there. It's somewhere in the scene where there's the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
It's used.
Yeah.
I
I,
always think it's funny when that is reused because it's so iconic now that it's
yeah.
kind of almost like it's borderline like cringy to use it, but it's funny at the same time when
Right.
it's used.
Yeah. I feel like with that scream, it's all about placement in a film. Like
Hmm.
if you put it in the wrong spot, it's just like, well, that was dumb. But I feel like Star Wars has done a good job of like strategically placing it in their different movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Um, but with that too, though, with the explosion that then causes the scream to show up, do we ever see that electroproton bomb used again? I don't think we
I don't
do.
I don't recall any other instance of it, but
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't remember ever seeing that used again, which seems like I don't know if that'd be like a not continuity error, but
Maybe they used it and then outlawed it because of what it did to all the clankers.
hey, listen here, okay? Them clones aren't giving no cares about no clankers, all right? They'll use that thing again and again if they can. I but no, I was just thinking about this too. Like, what if they're like developing this bomb on Coruscant and someone accidentally tinked it in the wrong spot and it just went off and just took out a whole section of
Yeah.
Coruscant?
Well, I think one of the kind of funny parts about this was they bombed the thing and then all of their equipment stopped working, which
Yeah,
obviously is the purpose of it, but it's just kind of like,
right.
that's
Yeah, because like
kind of
Palpatine's
sucks.
watching the display through like a hologram, so you get like his
Right.
communication gets cut off to him too.
Right.
And because we even see like Anakin's hand, his robotic hand like
Oh yeah,
start like
yeah. That stops working
twitching
too.
out and yeah stops working. A nice small detail to add in there because there's in the Clone
Which
Wars
was crazy
movie.
too. Which was crazy too that his hand stopped working because it was right at the inconvenient time where he was scratching himself, and then he just had a death grip on
Oh
his.
man, ooh.
Yeah.
But no, I like that they put the detail of his hand to like stop working in this episode because they totally messed up in the Clone Wars movie when they're like when they're getting Jabba the Hutt's son and Ahsoka's like this little Hutt is sick and Anakin puts his robot hand on on Jabba the Hutt's son to feel his temperature.
Hey, maybe he had a built-in thermometer.
Maybe I doubt it, but maybe. But it's nice when they add a detail like that to kind of like counteract the detail they did back then, back
Yeah.
there. But yeah, we get introduced to the Zillo Beast, like you said. When I first saw this episode years and years ago, man, that Zillo Beast still looks really strange. Like it's got that like fifth arm coming out of its back.
Yeah, because
You
it's got
know, and
legs. It's got
yeah,
2 legs and a tail, and that looks kind of normal. But then it's got like the 2 arms, but then like a third arm out of
yeah,
its back. It's almost like those tank droids that like rotate the barrel, you know?
mm-hmm.
But like with arms. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks really
it's
kind of
kind of
strange.
weird. Well, and because not to spoil any episodes of a different Star Wars show, but this isn't the only Zillo Beast that we get to see throughout Star Wars.
But it's the last of its kind.
For people that have seen another show of Star Wars, you know what I'm talking about. For anyone that has not, keep watching Star Wars. You'll find
Yeah,
it eventually.
the show that is a it rhymes with a depressed fire starting device.
What?
Sad match.
God.
Yeah, I had to hide it under layers of stupidity.
I think you achieved your goal.
Thanks.
But with the Zillo Beast, though, we get this strange kind of like quality that it has, where like I think it's Anakin goes to strike it with his lightsaber and it just like ricochets off.
Yeah, boy, got that netherite armor.
Netherite enchanted. Like, surprised that thing's not glowing.
Yeah.
And even like like obviously lightsabers or bounce off, and even blaster bolts just have no effect on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is one durable son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, as you said in the recap, we see the Dugs use those strange contraptions, those like disc shooter things to like launch down the chemicals and whatnot. Or sorry, they open like some. No, we do see the Dugs have like this weird prophecy, like scroll that they bring out in regards to this Zillo Beast being discovered. Whereas, like, when another one's discovered, it's going to be, like, the end of the Dug people or, something along that vein. Which, is why the Dugs demanded being killed. They demand the Republic to help end this beast if the Republic want access to the, fuel stores on Malastare.
I kind of wondered if Mace's... Mace had an opposition to this because the creature is an innocent life.
Yeah.
But that kind of raises a question to me where it's like, once again, it's like, where's their line drawn? Because, like, they're compassionate towards creatures, but then, like, are still generals. And, like,
right.
I think it's one of those weird, kind of convoluted things again. But I kind of wondered about that. Didn't know if you had thoughts. Well, I know you don't have thoughts, but you know what I mean. Because dumb.
The Jedi viewpoint, or really Mace Windu's, and even Anakin's in this moment, he definitely has like more Jedi approach to dealing with the Zillo Beast. Of like, this is an innocent life. We should not be killing it. We need to preserve this life. Like, that's very much in line with like the Jedi ethos, or like the Jedi mentality, the Jedi viewpoint. And so in that sense, it's like, no, it makes sense for them to have this approach. But then, like, you bringing up, like, them being generals in a war that's spanning the galaxy. At what point do you... At what point are you then going against your own beliefs? Because it's like, you can believe that, like, murder is bad... But then where do you then draw that line with, like, defending yourself from, say, a home invader? Like, you gotta use a weapon, you end up taking their life. At what point is it... At what point have you then turned on your own beliefs? And that's a tough one to try and, like, really narrow down. Because it is weird. It's a weird thing, like kind of like you were saying, where it's like, we got to save this this innocent life, but then we're killing people that are siding with the Separatists because they don't agree with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
But pretty much the majority of like that episode is that it's like they're kind of going back and forth, but then finally they do knock it out, and then they're like, oh, well, actually, let's take it back to Coruscant for testing. And so they load it up and take it out. That's kind of where that episode ends. There's not much more to it, I feel like. I don't know if you had anything more.
Palpatine in this episode, because again we have like the wider picture and we know what his ultimate goal is, we just get more of Palpatine's like 4D chess to everybody else's checkers, going on here. Because it's like he plays this role of like, listen, guys, Mace, my man, I get it. I get what you're saying. Like, I agree with you, man. But, we're in a war. Like, he's playing both sides so masterfully.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and I feel like every time Palpatine is in a Clone Wars episode, we talk, like, I bring this up, but it's just like, just the moves that he makes are just so well planned and well thought out.
Yeah.
And only when Obi-Wan is involved does his plans get messed up. Obi-Wan's the one that trolls all of his plans. So like Obi-Wan wasn't there, so Palpatine gets what he wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, just his, and it goes into the second episode as well. But just Palpatine's moves here and the way he approaches the situation as a whole is just, it's masterclass, really.
Yeah.
We know Palpatine is a bad guy. He's a villain, but like just watching him work and like tricking everybody and getting what he wants without people realizing it. I always enjoy seeing Palpatine in the different movies and the shows and stuff. It's always really good.
Yeah. But flying into the next episode, they bring it to Coruscant and they bring down and they land, and I believe it is the same like landing bay as we saw in Revenge of the Sith. One of the opening scenes, there's like a,
if it's not, it has to be close by.
Yeah.
Because like they land a whole Republic cruiser there, so it has to be close by if it's not the same one.
But they bring it and they kind of test on it, and it ends up the plan is pretty evident that it's like we'll clone the beast.
Use its armor plating for their ships, their troops.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Could you imagine if the Death Star was made out of like Zillo Beast scales?
Well, I think that they would be even more mad that they left a tiny little hole.
Here's the thing, though. If they built the Death Star out of like Zillo Beast scales, Luke shoots, it goes down the vent, explosion in the center. The rest of it just kind of shakes a little bit, and it's still
It's kind of like the containment protocol when there was a sock in Monsters Inc. and they just put the thing over it and just, but like nothing moved.
Yeah, that's what I picture. Like Death Star made out of Zillo Beast. Luke goes in there, he shoots, like, yeah, we did it, and then nothing happens.
But it's still like mostly destroyed. It's just the outer shell that's just still there.
Yeah.
Like what's
the outer shell's still there, but everything inside is destroyed. And then the rebels are just like, did we do it? Did we win?
Yeah, and then that falls out of orbit and just crashes into a planet.
It crashes into the moon base and still wipes out the rebels.
And it's just a draw.
Yeah. But continuing on with kind of the Palpatine angle of bringing the Zillo Beast to Coruscant, even though the Zillo Beast breaks out of containment, like this just, I doubt Palpatine planned it, right, for the Zillo Beast to break free. But it helps his cause so much.
Oh, it does. It kind of plays into his favor. But this actually, I do think that like this is one of the instances where we kind of see him actually scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's kind of like, ooh, this is not in my control. This is kind of, I don't like this.
Yeah. But I would agree with that. He definitely, if we have ever seen Palpatine truly scared, this would be one of the very few times that we see it.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, this just plays in his favor so well, because this effectively just shows the Jedi's ethics, their morality shows, quote unquote, that their morality is hurting people.
Yeah.
Because like Palpatine can spin this like, the Jedi didn't want it dead. The Jedi said we had to save it. And we followed what the Jedi said because they're the good guys. And look what it did. Because it rampages through Coruscant. Just like taking out people left and right, destroying buildings. I
do think it was funny in it running rampant, though, that Rex radios Anakin, and it's like these two find joy in the chaos. He's just like, dude, you're missing out on the fun.
My favorite one is oh god, how does the scene go? It's like Anakin radios to like Mace Windu, and I think Rex and Obi-Wan are there, And it's like a scene of like Anakin has a plan, but his plan is not having a plan. And I think Rex makes a comment to Mace Windu. He's like, "You kind of get used to this when working with General Skywalker."
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like Anakin has like an improvised plan. And it's like, how can it be a plan if it's improvised?
Yep. And there was a similar one where it was like when it was basically like, okay, I think the Zillo Beast had the ship, and it was like they're going to jump out, and he's like, okay, you guys catch them. And then it was like a comment where he's like, a lot of the general's plans involve falling.
Yeah. It's like Anakin does so well on the battlefield. You know, like he turns defeat into victory. He comes up with these plans on the spot, and for the most part they work out, but it's like when you got to tell the higher ups what just happened or what's about to happen, it just sounds so bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Anakin just has his own unique way of doing things, and it always just sounds worse than it is.
Yeah.
But
one kind of cool note that I did see, or and stuff, the as it was running through the streets, and it was targeting Palpatine, it saw the hollow projection where he's like, warning, or whatever he was saying.
Did you get what Palpatine was saying in that hollow projection? Because I was looking for that.
I did not get what he was saying, but I drew a different connection. Did you end up finding what he said?
I was trying to find it, but I haven't been able to. It's very much in the background, and so it's like, unless you know it's there, you're not going to notice it.
Right. I didn't, so I couldn't quite understand what it said, but I do believe it is the same hollow message that played in NCI Lightsaber Lost.
Oh my god. That's it. I'm going.
No, I think it's the same. It's the same message. But what that message said, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's evident in Lightsaber Lost. If you want to take the liberty of going and revisiting that episode.
Well, I was looking for what Palpatine was. I don't remember if it's what Palpatine is saying or if it's the words going across the hollow screen. I don't remember which one it is. But I've heard a lot of different people talk about it in different YouTube videos, or and it's more of like Palpatine propaganda, right? But it's worded in a way that it sounds like the Jedi are doing all that they can, and they're fighting this war for the people. But it's like, when you look into what he's actually saying, it's subvertly like turning the populace against the Jedi. And it's like more of that Palpatine propaganda.
It's basically being like, the Jedi are in control of the situation, and then you look at the situation and you're like, yeah, but like, I don't want them to be.
Right. Yeah, it's more of like the Palpatine propaganda to turn the people against the Jedi, so when he does his big move, people aren't up in arms against him.
Yeah.
But it's delivered in a way to where it sounds like he's talking up the Jedi, but it's one of those like subconscious things where it's actually, tricking you into turning on them when the time comes.
Yeah.
And I wish I could find what it was actually saying, but I was looking, I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that the Zillo Beast is actually not, it was like never given a name, like a species name or anything. It's just Zillo Beast. Which
I guess you could say is the species name.
I mean, yeah, but also like...
Right. But then the scientist that is like performing the tests on the Zillo Beast, did you get what species that was?
No,
because we see a Jedi of the same species in Attack of the Clones, in the Geonosian arena. He's like one of the background Jedi, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure there's one in Attack of the Clones. Because I know for sure this is not the first time we've seen this species in Star Wars. But I never got a name for what the species actually was.
Yeah, Cyan Bull is a Bivali. Bival? Bival? Homeworld of Protobranch. If I click Bival, semi-aquatic sentient species of tall bipeds with lanky bodies, large stocky eyes, crested heads, and long fingers that are native to Protobranch in the core worlds.
Mm.
Cyan Bull and Ocallan were members of the species. Ocallan is a served the reigning king of Onderon as an advisor.
Oh, okay.
I don't see anything regarding Jedi. You know how many different species look the same in this, and it's just like, oh, is that?
Yeah.
So I don't think it must not be. But
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's Attack of the Clones, the Geonosis arena scene where you can see one like in the background. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I did have a section here in my notes for some of the themes that we kind of see in this episode as well.
Okay.
So we see like the ethics of war versus science works. It's like Palpatine is prioritizing the war effort over the protection of like an endangered species, whereas the Jedi want to prioritize the protection of the species over the war. They don't want to kill this beast, whereas Palpatine wants it for like armor and weaponry and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have like the theme of like the sympathy for the beast that you see in different things like Beauty and the Beast would be an example of that, where it's like people view it as a monster, but it's just a creature trying to live type of deal, you know? Like the Zillo Beast, for the most part, only acts in self-defense, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very peaceful creature.
Yeah.
And
yeah, not until it's attacked in this episode and the previous one. Not until it's attacked does it actually inflict any sort of damage or harm.
Right.
And then just like I don't know if it's necessarily a theme, but like the power, corruption, and control within the episode, like Palpatine's manipulations of the Republic and the Jedi and the scientists, all for his end goal. And it's like the Jedi know how much power Palpatine has. You know, they know what he has at his disposal, you know, to get things done. And they, like, this is just, it's another one of those, like, failures of the Jedi where they just fail to act. You know, they fail to say, enough is enough. Palpatine, we're not doing this. You know? And it's kind of a recurring theme over and over again throughout the Clone Wars. And even Revenge of the Sith, you know, just Palpatine kind of does what he wants and nobody ever says enough is enough.
Yeah.
But
you predicted that we would not have much to talk about this episode. I am out of notes.
I'm just double checking mine real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything.
And there's nothing wrong if there's nothing left to talk about. I mean, it was a primarily action based episode, you know, and so how much you can really pry from that, I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's just about everything I have.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really know anything else about the Zillo Beast other than what we get in these two episodes, so there's not really too much to delve into the creature itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, just with all the action scenes and everything in these two episodes, there's not a whole lot of like character depth happening here too much. Like we get more of the same Jedi ideology, you know. It's not like there's anything new that's revealed with the Jedi.
Right.
So I think that kind of just covers all of my notes for this episode.
Okay. Well then,
Want to go ahead and
high point.
Yeah. The episodes together, my high point would just be the beginning of the first episode, just with the battle raging between the clones and the droids. I've said before, I always enjoy like the big battle sequences that we see within Star Wars would be my high point. Low point would be the scientist torturing the Zillo Beast. I am not for, animal torture. That's not a thing I agree with.
You are for cat baths to raccoons, though.
Hey, listen, if they're dirty, they need to be clean. That's a different story.
I'm just saying it's not exactly the most clean on your part, but I understand that you're being nice.
Yeah. I just want to love them. I want to hold a little trash panda hand. They look so adorable. All right. Listen, if they weren't meant to be pet and held, they should not be pet and held sized. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough. For me, the high point isn't even a point in the story or anything. Especially early Clone Wars, a lot of the graphics, or like graphics as if it's a video game, but the CGI or whatever you want to freaking call it. It's not CGI, the animation. If I can just keep going with calling it the wrong thing, is
There's a bit to be desired in early Clone Wars animation. Yeah.
However, this Zillo Beast's eyeball, pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool looking.
Especially because it's in the first episode when like Anakin's standing there, and it like first opens its eye. It reminds me of that scene from The Hobbit when we first get to see a bit of Smaug.
Oh yeah.
There in the gold, and you just see that eye open. It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Or just from any other movie or TV show where it's got like that huge monster-sized creature, and you just see that
it was
eye
just so
open.
Between that and then like just how green it was really cool to me, and that stood out. Low point would probably be, probably all the torturous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
'cause, like,
it caused us to lose an employee.
Well, yeah. But, like, I understand, like, doing animal testing for, like, vaccines and stuff. Like, I get that. It sucks. It's not, it's not the greatest thing. But I understand the purpose behind it.
Yeah.
To, like, improve our everyday life, prevent diseases and things like that. I get that.
I mean, but in this one,
But
it
it's
was
like,
even like, this is
they're
causing
just like,
excruciating pain to it.
Because the scientist is like lifting the scale, and you just hear it like screeching in pain. It's like, there's gotta be a better way to go about this. Like, holy crap. Yeah, that was not my favorite part of Star Wars. But the sad thing is, crap like that happens in the real world.
Yeah.
So.
But anywho.
But overall episodes, though, I think we kind of mentioned it before we started recording. I enjoyed these two episodes personally. I liked seeing, some of the fighting and like some of the manipulations of Palpatine and all that kind of stuff we talked about. I think you kind of had a different viewpoint on these episodes than that.
No, I thought they were fine.
Oh, yeah, no, now you're trying to gaslight me over here. You little.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, I mean, they're not my favorite, but they, revisiting them and kind of breaking them down, I do feel like, well, they're not the worst episodes out there. They're just kind of...
Jar Jar's not in there, so it's
exactly.
not terrible.
They're not... I don't know. They're kind of there.
Yeah.
So,
the only episodes...
I just feel like it's not like... They're just not as dense as some episodes, and I feel like that's why I kind of don't don't love them. It's just kind of like, now granted, this does show up later in Star Wars, right? But it's also kind of like, what's the point of the episodes?
I will say the only episodes that Jar Jar is in that I think are not terrible, and we'll cover
The one
this
where he has a
arc.
girlfriend.
No, absolutely not. That is disgusting. I'd never want to see it again, even though I'm going to have to for this podcast. No, the only arc that
I'm just
Jar
having
Jar is
some
in,
ad ideas.
the only arc that Jar Jar is in that I don't find absolutely terrible, and like I said, we'll get to that arc eventually. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's the Blue Shadow virus arc on Naboo.
We already did that.
Did we?
Yep. Call 855 Nouveau Blue.
That's right.
For your population control devices or something like that. I don't know what I did.
I think that's probably the only arc that Jar Jar is in that I don't absolutely hate.
Yeah. I also feel like we've come to a point where I think it's kind of pathetic that if I remember an episode based on a dumb ad I did, that being the connecting part, probably, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well,
it's fun though. I actually want to create a catalog and interconnect all of them and like be able to develop like these dumb stories within the the realm of our podcast just based on the ads. I just haven't taken the time to do that yet.
Well, unless you have anything else, Jacob,
I do not.
Go ahead and spread the word to friends, family, frenemies, enemies, everybody and anybody.
Listen, get us to another 1,000 downloads.
Yep. Every 1,000 downloads, we get that good old blooper reel. We had quite a few bloopers in our coverage of Rings of Power, episode 7 that we just did.
Yeah. Even some in this one that probably won't be bloopers because they have not great topics. But there's potential, so still. And
then every 25 Apple reviews, right? We will do a live stream.
Plan to do a live stream.
We're still waiting for that. We haven't gotten to 25 yet, so we still haven't even done our first live stream. So if you guys want to interact with us as we do one of our coverages, leave some comments, leave some reviews, help us get there.
Yep.
And then 500 subscribers on Spotify.
Followers, yeah.
Or followers on Spotify gets the full rendition of a sea shanty that Jacob made. Yep. That was played for one of our Rings of Power episodes.
It's called Pedo Man.
Yeah, it's if you've been listening to the podcast since the beginning, you can probably guess who it's about. But did I miss any of the kind of little plugs there?
I don't think so. I would just further it by saying, any place that you can comment, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
But
and even if you hated it, leave a comment because that helps us.
Yeah, we want to know what you didn't like as much as we do what you do like. So,
because I will say we've been looking into the analytics of our episodes and trying to make adjustments here and there. Hence our new way of covering episodes so we can improve. So if you've got any parts you didn't like, things you think we can do better, please let us know.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway,
other than that,
Hoosers
ways it.
I'm tired.
We will catch you guys next time in our Rings of Power coverage for, I believe, the season finale of season 1 for Rings of Power.
Yeah, it'll be episode 8.
Yeah, if you don't listen to Rings of Power coverage, we'll see you on the next Star Wars coverage.
Which I think will probably be closing out
season 2
right?
of
the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
because it'll be 220 through 222.
That sounds right.
That Boba Fett arc. He's like chasing down Mace, I think.
I'll have to double check. That sounds right,
I think that's it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see whenever. Figure it out then. Bye.
Toodles.
Deuces.